So I have this embarrassing thing where I have this strong need for male attention, which is not good. And I also have this thing where I think everybody's in love with me. Let's rewind. Okay. So ever since I was 5 or 6, like it literally started when I was a child. And I remember my first memory of this was when I was at camp. The camp that I actually direct and run right now, which I want to mention because it's like today I wore my Justin Bieber shirt to camp and everyone made fun of me. And I was like, but guys, I'm like your boss. Like, why are you making fun of me? And they're like, because it's Justin. I'm like, what do you have against Justin? Anyways. So when I was a camper there at like 5 or 6, I remember there was this counselor. It was a guy. And I thought he wanted me. Okay, because like a 6-year-old should not be thinking that a guy wants her if he's like in his teens or 20s. And this was a normal guy. This was not any kind of like weird situation. This wasn't like something off. It was like I was the one that was off, thinking that he was in love with me. I remember sitting next to him or sitting near him when we were eating lunch. And sorry, I have like really bad asthma, if I didn't already mention that. Anyways, I remember he was sitting there and I was just like, why does he want me? Like, stop. And it's like, he doesn't. He's 16 and you're 6. What are you doing? But I thought that he wanted me. And ever since then, I've been like having these things where I think I'm just like unlocking it to make sure I'm like reading all my points because like this is problematic of me. Ever since then, I just feel like everyone wants, not everyone, but like I always feel like if a guy talks to me, I'm like, oh, he wants me. And it was like, this was my camp counselor. He was getting paid to be there, okay? Like, it's like he didn't want me and he was talking to me because it was his job, right? Okay. So ever since then, I've just been having this feeling. Now, fast forward to me working there. I have a coworker who I've known for like 2 years. And I thought he wanted me. I was convinced. I was like, oh, this guy wants me. He really wants me. And it's like, I didn't really have any evidence. I was just like, oh, I can just tell. Fast forward to like a month ago when he told me that he's actually gay and has a boyfriend and has had a boyfriend for 2 years. The entirety of me thinking that he wanted me. And then when he told me that, I was shocked. Because, okay, can I preface this by saying I don't think I'm that pretty. I don't think I'm like the prettiest girl. Like, if you've seen my other video or just like know me, like I'm actually very insecure and I've been insecure. And I always thought like I'm not that insecure, but then I look at the things I do and I'm like, oh, honey, you're insecure. But it's like, it's not that I think I'm like so pretty that every guy wants me. It's just like, I just have this like, it's like, you can say hi and I'm like, oh, you're in love with me. It's like not good. I went to this restaurant when I was on vacation last month and we went there twice, me, my grandma, and my cousin. And there was this waiter. He wasn't our waiter, but he was a waiter and he was walking around and I would tell my cousin like, oh, he wants me. Like I can just tell. And she's like, honey, you're crazy. And I'm like, I know, but he wants me. And it's just like, what makes you think they want you? A glance? A guy can literally look at me and I'm like, oh my gosh, stop being obsessed with me. Bro, I go to this gym, okay? I go to this gym and there are 2 male workers there and I'm convinced they're in love with me. But I kind of have listen. One of them, every time I walk in, he always compliments my outfit. He always compliments this certain thing about my outfit. Always. Every time I come in, okay? And the other one comes up to me while I'm working out. And I'm just like, oh, we're going to fist bump now. Okay. I was just like lifting my legs, but okay. So then I start to get like, okay, maybe I'm not crazy, you know? But it's like, where am I getting this from? Where am I getting this idea that everybody's in love with me when I don't think I'm the hottest girl ever, when I'm quite insecure, when I don't even realize it? And so to tie that in back to the need for male attention. So basically, I also, like I said, I have this need for male attention, okay? And okay, so basically, like, okay, I have never done anything in my life. I've never had a boyfriend, never kissed anybody, none of that. Okay? And I'm turning 20 this year. And what was I going to say? Oh, yes. I also grew up not really having male friends. Like, I didn't know how to be friends with a guy. I didn't know. I literally, like, I had like two male friends, but they were like the guy friends who were only friends with the girls, because like the guys wouldn't accept them. But those weren't like really long lasting friendships. These weren't friendships that like really lasted or anything. You just met through a class and that was that. But it literally took me like halfway through my first year of university to hug my male friend back because I was like, this is wrong. This feels wrong. But okay. I think because I went so long without knowing how to talk to guys, how to be friends with guys, how to be in relation, not just like a relationship, just like a relation with a guy. I didn't know how to do that. So, and it's like, I didn't go to an all-girls school. I did talk to guys, but I didn't really talk to guys on a daily. I didn't talk to guys ever. So, I think part of the reason why I get so attached to male attention, which I will give you examples of, is because I just went my whole life like not knowing how to talk to them. So if I do talk to them, it's like everything gets saturated, everything goes up. I'm like one high, and it's like, oh my gosh, he wants me. Why else would he be talking to me? So let me expand on that. Like, well, just like a little side note, like during COVID, I wouldn't leave this room. I didn't even leave my house. Not because I was scared of corona. It was just like mental illness, but whatever. So basically, I remember like I would leave my house like once every 6 months to go to the grocery store with my mom because I was like, whatever, I guess I'll go outside. And I was like, I would see a guy my age. You don't even have to be cute. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, they're real. They're out here. The men are out here. And then I would go home and I'm like, oh, I can't believe I have to wait another 6 months just to see another one of them, Like, I was just like, I was so deprived, which is, oh my gosh, just like, relax. It's not that big of a deal. But I would like text my friends and I'd be like, guys, I saw a guy today. Like, I haven't seen one in 6 months. And then they'd be like, oh my gosh, me too. I saw one at Costco. I'm like, I saw one at Superstore. But I think, so let me get into how I think that or why I think that I have a need for male attention. So basically, the first really big incident was last year. I was at this group event and it lasted for many days. And there was a guy there and I paid no attention to him because he wasn't my type and also he had a lot of really bad qualities. Mama? Papa? Jonas? Someone just came upstairs. Oh, I think it's my brother. Okay, it's fine. Anyways, so there was this guy, he wasn't my type, and he had a lot of bad qualities. There was this guy at the event, and I didn't pay no attention to him, right? But then he started to give me attention, and I was like, what? A guy giving me attention? What is happening? And long story short, like, I got addicted to the attention. Because at first, it was just like a joke. I'm like, oh, this guy's like so weird. Like, why is he texting me? Like, okay. But then it was like very consistent. And I was like every day. And like, he was like, and I was like, why am I like waiting for your notifications? Like, why am I like giggling at your phone, at your, not phone calls, at your text, like what's happening? And then I got kind of attached to the attention, right? And I thought I got attached to him. But then I realized, I'm like, no, I don't care about him. But basically what happened was that we were basically texting straight for like 2.5 months or whatever. I think. I don't know. And then it stopped. Because it started to die down and it just stopped. And I was like, what? Like, where did my attention go? And this is the embarrassing thing. This is the disgusting thing, okay? That was in the summer last year. And I came back to because I live in a different city for university, and I live in I live in a different city where I actually live. So where I actually live, like I said, I don't really have any guy friends. It's only girls, so I don't really interact with guys. And so what happened was that it stopped, and then I was home for the summer. Tell me why I was sad. I was like sad. For 3 months, I was sad. No, well, 2 to 3 months, I was sad. I would wake up and look at my phone and be like, oh, no text today. Okay. Bing. Oh. Bing. You know, like, very embarrassing. Very embarrassing. I was like actually sad about it. I actually made a vlog, but that's on unlisted because I don't want anyone to see that, only my friends. So I was like, why am I so upset and sad? It's like, why am I acting like I'm going through a heartbreak, even though it's not even that. It was literally just texting for 2 months and that was it. And the guy was not even my type, and I didn't really think he was the best person. So fast forward to now, I'm like, oh, honey, you were just attached to the attention. You couldn't care less about him. You were just attached to the attention. And gosh, right was I, because I don't want to say what timeline this is, but there was a new crush, okay? And that crush, like, when we would text, it would be good, but then it would be bad, because then that person would take, like, a day to reply, or 2. And again, this is my crush, this is not my man, so I'm not saying anything like that, but if he took 1 or 2 days to reply, I was heartbroken. I was like, she hates me, like, everything is a lie, like, he doesn't like me at all, even as a friend, like, I'm just an embarrassment. And it's like, whoa, why does texting affect me so much? That's embarrassing. I have more problems in life, like chronic illness and I guess chronic illness is just the big one. But I mean, it's pretty valid, right? Chronic illnesses, period, plural. Anyways, there were literal times, I'm literally going through it right now, where I leave this person on red because if they take too long to reply, I'm so heartbroken that I can't even text them back. And it's like, is it the person or is it the attention? With this person, it's both. The other person, it was the attention. But guys, like, I remember in high school, I remember in high school where there was this guy who absolutely was not my type at all. And he started to show me attention, and then I was like, oh, okay. And then I guess he joined our group somehow, and then we maybe got in a fight. I don't even know what happened. But we just stopped talking. And I was like, what? Like, what happened? Like, where did the attention go? And there was another guy who, this one was really, like, texting me every day for, I don't know, like, I was like, bro, like, what's happening? I've never even met you. Like, why are you doing this? And I think my friend told me yesterday, because I was on the phone with her talking about this, and she was like, Emily, I think you ended up telling him that you just, like, don't see, like, why, like, it was just, like, 5 paragraphs a day or something, and I was like, I don't know what is happening, like, so I think she told me that I told him that, like, hey, like, stop kind of. I don't think I would ever tell anyone to stop. But you know what I mean. And when it stopped, I was like, oh, he actually did stop. And it's like, I didn't even like him. And I was annoyed by him. But the moment he stopped giving me attention, I was like, interesting. Why am I kind of missing this? Why am I checking my Instagram when I had social media at the time to see if he texted me? Oh, but he didn't. Oh, I guess he really just stopped. Okay. So that's a problem because I literally I don't even want to go on the texting device I use to text this one person right now because I'm so upset over the last time it took this person too long to respond. That's stupid. Why am I so emotionally attached to attention? Male attention. Especially over text. It's like I almost need someone to be texting me 24/7 to know that, we're still good, we're still friends, there's still something between us, And that's not good. I shouldn't need to have someone be texting me 24/7 to know that we're still good. That's not good. And that goes into attachment styles, which I want to make a separate thing on. But basically, long story short, so mine is anxious attachment style, which basically that means if you had a parent or parents who you almost felt like you had to fight for their love, or you had to walk around eggshells, you had to walk around them, you know what I'm trying to say, eggshells around them, or it's like 1 second they're happy, 1 second they're not, you don't know what to do, and you're always just trying to make them feel happier, and you don't know if you're the problem, whatever, yada. So I kind of had that in my life, and so I guess it transferred over into the way I view males sometimes, in the love way, right? Okay. So, because my style is my attachment style is very anxious, it's like I almost need constant communication to make sure that we're good, right? And I don't really have that problem with my female friends, but because I think attachment styles are very much towards love. So I'm really just transferring over the parental love into actual love. Love, bro, I've never done anything in my life. And it's I may have listed people who have shown me attention, but then again, I think everyone's in love with me. And then again, I don't think I'm hot stuff or anything. It's just it's problems, mental illness, not really, but whatever. I mean, it does run in the family. I have some schizophrenic people, literal schizophrenic in the hospital for the rest of their life. Anyways, hopefully I don't get that. Anyways, so what was I saying? I feel like because I am anxiously attached, I feel this need to have constant communication, right? And it's right now it's summer break, I'm not seeing any of my friends from school, so the only thing we can do is text. And if I don't get that, I'm they hate me. It's over. It's all in my head. They never liked me. I'm embarrassing. You act like I'm a chore. You act like I'm just this charity case and you're all plotting against me. It's really not that deep. But that's how I feel. And it's I don't want to feel, I feel it so deep. I remember last year I had the same, it's I'm in a higher level right now in the job that I'm at. But I remember going to work my 9 to 5 last year in the summer, and I was just everything sucks. Everything's annoying. I can't do this. It's so boring. I'm so sad. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to what an inconvenience to be sad over someone that you didn't even like, right? But this time maybe I'll be bulletproof. This time I am trying to be mature and not let myself slip into that. But on occasions it does, because sometimes I let the text get way too emotional in me. Okay. Yeah, so that's a problem. And I've actually tried to Google, we're switching back to the other topic of why I think not why, but I think everyone's in love with me. And Um, I tried to Google it and really not much came up. Except this one article that was like, well, that just means that you're insecure, you have low self esteem, like, and you feel uncomfortable around love. And I'm like, you know what? You're just saying a lot of mean things to me, but I can get where you're coming from. Because I used to have this problem when I was younger where I didn't like compliments. I felt really icky when people would compliment me, especially like my mom for some reason. Like if my mom saw me at my dance show and she said something, I would be like, "Oh, stop. Like stop." Like I would never want to invite people to my dance shows because I don't want them to like see me and like compliment me, you know? Which is so weird. But then I would look into it and it's like, it's actually kind of, it might be a sign of like being insecure. Like you feel uncomfortable. Because it's like someone's complimenting you, but you don't feel like that about yourself. So it's like not registering inside of you. Well, that's just like one interpretation of it. But I get that because it's like if you don't like yourself, you don't believe when people compliment you. You're like, what? Why are you lying to me? And that's how I feel when it comes to like when people don't text me back in time or well, I'm very sensitive. I'm such a sensitive person. Like if you use even a slight dry tone, I'm like, oh my gosh. So when that happens, I'm like, I go to my room and I go to my diary. I'm like, well, it turns out they hate me and they never liked me and everything's a lie and they act like I'm a chore. Well, if I'm a chore, don't talk to me, go away from me, like block me, whatever, I don't need to talk to you. And the next day it's like, oh hey, and I'm like, oh hi. So I feel like when they would when I was younger and people would compliment me on whatever, I would be like, no, like stop, like why are you lying? Or it's almost like uncomfortable, like no, that's like not true at all, like no, okay, no. And so I feel like it's the same way now where, you know, when you're just like 20 years old and like nobody's asked you out on a date or first of all, okay, I know I'm sitting here being like, why does nobody want to go out with me? Like shut up. I swear I don't care. Like it's like I swear I don't think this is like the biggest problem in my life, okay? I'm like, please don't be like, oh, this girl's like sitting here complaining that nobody wants to date her. Well, honey, you're this, and this. Like, please, I'm not trying to be like that. But like, there comes a point when you're laying in your bed and you're like, so like nobody has ever asked me to be their girlfriend, or like nobody's wanted to take me out on a date, or like nobody's whatever. Anyways. And then you're like, I guess I'll just be lonely with my skinny and fat chihuahuas for the rest of my life. And so sometimes when you believe that you aren't capable of being in a relationship, or like relationships are just not for you, like other people can be in a relationship, but like you can't, obviously, like it's just not in the cards for you. Although, yes, I'm 20, I'm young, whatever. Anyways, do you get what I'm saying? I'm not trying to make it sound so serious. Relax. I'm not trying to sound that serious. But it's like, you think about that. And so maybe it's like when someone does show me attention. And I mention the fact that and I feel like a lot of people feel like this too, but it's like when it's too much attention, when it looks like they are interested in you, it's like, oh, what is that? I don't think I'm relating to, it's, you know, there's a lot of factors in here, but sometimes I feel like I'm not, no one's ever gonna want me, right? Whatever. Anyways, and then I also feel like everybody wants me. And then I complain about it. And then when they stop, I'm like, oh, where did it go? Anyways, yeah, I'm just saying this because it's like funny because I've never had a man and I think everyone's in love with me. Bro, literally, I would be at work and there was this one guy, because, okay, I'm talking about work at school, where I kind of, let's just call it a secretary in the lobby of the dorm residence, okay? I'm just sitting there, you know, on my computer, on my desk, whatever. And, you know, if people had issues, they'd come up to me. And if people had a guest, they would come sign the guest in. And there was this one guy who would always, like, come up and, like, talk to me. And I actually, like, I really liked this guy. I think he was, like, I thought he was funny and cool. He's not my type, but I was like, oh, like, I would be friends with you. You're funny. But I was like, oh, this man's in love with me. Like, I can tell. And it's like I'm like, oh, this man's in love with me. But I'm like, oh, but why isn't he asking me out? Honey, because he's not in love with you. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? It's like, do you ever just feel like, and honestly, maybe this is a problem of people who've never experienced any romance or relationships or like chasing or whatever. It's like you convince yourself that you're just like that superior and that everybody wants you as like a coping mechanism for the fact that nobody wants you. Okay, so maybe it's that. Also, like I said, my relationship to male attention is very bad. Well, it's not very bad. It's not like I'm desperate for male attention where I'm like flashing titties or like hoeing around, whatever. Like I'm actually me complaining that nobody approaches me while I just like sit in my room and like do nothing. Like, have I ever approached a guy? No. Have I ever told a guy that I liked him? No. And here I am complaining, like, why won't he tell me he likes me? Like, it's so obvious that we're meant to be together. So, yeah, I was saying, my relationship to male attention is not the greatest, right? Because, what was I gonna say? Because I kind of have an anxious attachment style, which makes me, like, cling on to it. But it's especially over text. It's very much over text. And it's like, why? Like, why over text? Because in person, when I hang out with, will hang out with, I don't know, a crush, the specific person, I'm like, oh, chill, like, just chill. But the moment I leave, I'm like, do you still like me? Like, are we still friends? And it's like, what is wrong? Why is it always when I can't see them, I feel the most anxious, right? It's like, it's bad. It's really bad. But anyways, so let me know if, the one person who ever comes across this, other than my friends, also has this weird complex where they think everyone's in love with them, but also are insecure and also loves male attention, but loves male attention, but only from certain people, which did I mention? Okay, so like, you know how I mentioned there's two guys at the gym, the one that always compliments my outfit and the one who always comes up to me. I don't know why, but neither of them are my types, and I'm not really attracted to either of them. But there's one that I almost favor than the other. Well, that's because I favor the one who compliments my outfits over the one who comes up to me during my workouts. Because it's like, bro, why are you coming up to me during my workout? Like, are you doing this to all of your other customers? I go there for free. Don't ask how. But do you do this to all the other people who work out here? No, you're just doing that to me, I guess. So the other one makes me feel more comfortable. So I have a preference, but it's like, it's not like I want him, It's like, but it's like I walk in, I'm like, ready for my attention. And it's like when he gives it to me and I walk by him, I'm like, oh my God, so giggly, so giddy. And it's like, I don't even like you like that. And why am I feeling so giddy? I'm feeling giddy from the attention, not the person. So that's a problem. And yeah, in conclusion, I'm problematic. And anxious attachment style needs to be fixed ASAP. If you have it, fix it. I'm trying to work on it. But yeah, it's just this weird complex going on in my mind where I think that nobody will ever want me, and that also everyone wants me. I think my brain is just constantly trying to make sense of things. So it's like, but in a drastic way where it's like, hey, my crush doesn't like me back. Nobody wants me. Hey, this person kind of shows interest in me. Everyone wants me. It's just like, what? Can you like pick a side? Like, stop Stop being weird. Anyways, I know this is all over the place. I just want to say again, this is not a huge problem. I'm not sitting here being like, why doesn't anybody want me? Like, what's wrong with men these days? No. And I'm not sitting here being like, I'm the hottest girl alive. Like, every man wants me. No. I'm just sitting here telling you that I have these weird complexes. And maybe you might relate. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to go turn the air conditioning on because I'm looking more of a tomato than I already do. Thanks.